All right, my friends, here we are. Oh, I'm not even centered, bows. Not centered at all, buddy. Gave away the mysteries behind my screen, too. Full mysteries. I got the window open. It's hot outside, dude. It's hot. And let's go see what we got here. I'm going to have to center this screen, by the way, obviously. So first of all, check it out, dude. We go news feed. And I think I want to hit beautiful, by the way, the news feed. And then we're going to hit view all for the grads. And how many we got today, my friends? We got 21. Oh, shit. My eyes hurt, boss. I wasn't ready for 21, man. I wasn't ready for 21, boss. Dang. 21. All right, just relax, Jesse. Just relax. It's going to be a long show. I've been streaming in the morning, which has been great, and doing like opening work. Great, but my eyes have started to hurt. So we'll just see how far I get. This is G-Star. Let's read what G-Star says. I just started playing 1 month ago. Not sure if I should even be graduated, but I wanted to move on with the books and such. We'll see. Now, it depends on your rating. If you make the rating, you make the rating. That's all there is to say about it. The program is nice to provide structure to the learning process. I picked up chess as a sort of therapy for my ADHD. So forgive me if it takes me a bit of time to incorporate all the details of the program into my practice. Analysis is particularly overwhelming at the moment, but I've started to learn how to use the software to do that and plan to get better at it over the coming year. Mostly playing with a square-off board. I don't even know what that is, which helps me focus, and just ordered a smaller Millennium E1 so I can get in more board time. Anyway, thank you for creating such an awesome space. I turned 41 this year and always wanted to learn chess, but figured I would just give it up. Nice to have a community. Yeah, Discord, that's a challenge. But let me just say, you guys, a lot of people think you have to do Discord. Not necessary. It's helpful, but not necessary. As a millennial, I've decided I prefer to get my tactics training from books. Thank you for including books. Okay, cool. Let's click on G-Star and we'll find out where they should be. So normalized at 387. That's kind of where they should be. Now, yeah. Oh, got all kinds. There's some weird graphs. G-Star just started, just started. So we're going to see more of G-Star probably. And we'll go back and see how they did some good work. They did some good work to get here. Good. All right. Yeah, that's looking great. And they got this, Blunder Games. Very nice. Okay, so I have a feeling there's no games. There are. Let's take a look at what's going on. Dude, G-Star, buddy, if you got this much done in a month, and you've basically just started, We're going to guess this first one is a ChessCom game because the rating's so low, and then this one's a Elite Chess because it's so high. So here we go. Click. ChessCom iPhone. No notes. Let's just give him a chance over here. So G-Star, listen up, buddy. This is fine. It's great that you're playing these games, but don't put them into the database if there's no annotations to it. Okay, the idea of the database is for games that you've annotated, not just to dump them in there. Okay, totally understandable though that you haven't got to the analysis yet. It's a process. Even for Kostya, dude can't do it, man. Kostya can't do it, boss. He can't do it. All right, let's go back. Now, one problem I'm having actually is, you know what I'm gonna do here? Hold on. So here's my problem. There's no longer a link to this. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna Control-C this recent thing. Think and Act Beyond. After 6 weeks of daily work and play, I've seen a great improvement in my overall game with destruction regime, especially analysis of my own games. Okay. This is great. Let's go look at Think and Act Beyond. U.S. Army veteran, chairmaker, scout leader. Oh, dude, okay. I'm assuming this dude's American just because it's scout leader, but it would still be cool to see, like, I'm from wherever. And they've done what a journey here, jumping all around. But they are definitely, so actually Think and Act Beyond, you are due to be into the next one. Well, a couple up, a couple for someone to follow, Think and Act Beyond. So you're in the wrong cohort, bud. You should be higher. Let's go activity. And we're going to see what you did to get there. That's a lot of work, buddy. That's a lot of work. Now, some people are confused and they're thinking like, oh, I got to do a certain amount of tasks before I graduate. No, the only time you're ever going to become close to doing all of the tasks is if you're at a plateau. Again, so the program is built around people. The idea is you start doing the work that's appropriate for your level. If you're not at your plateau, you will probably move up fairly quickly without doing all the work. And I say that because a lot of people think they have to do like most of the work or something before they move up. No, it's based on your rating, right? And I'm just saying that because it looks like that's what's going on with this guy here. Okay, I love this score breakdown. This looks really good. Let's click. That was great, dude. That's great. And then this somebody's really doing it. Fantastic. All right. This looks great, man. And you just scroll to the bottom. Joined the dojo a couple months ago. Great. This is good work. Okay. Chairmaker chess. Yeah, that looks probably the... Actually, let's go back to ratings here. So we got ChessCom. I see. So they're maybe, even though this is their preferred metric, this shows a normalized rating of 1028, and this is 552. So I get how it's confusing to be, which one you should be in. Okay, so let's go Chairmaker chess here. All right, good start here. Looks like a 30-minute game. So, Chairmaker chess has already won a nice pawn and some tempo. Nice. Very good. Yeah. There you go, buddy. Fine. And now we're going to take that pawn. This is just yard sailing this guy here. Bishop b2, check to the miserable king. Let's take on g2, boss. Bang! Let's take on g5. Bang! We're just eating this fool. Now, you're obviously winning, and 95 is fine. Yeah. Now we need to do something like castling. That's very good. Very good. Yeah, you're playing great. Maybe I would have preferred queen f4 just to keep the pin and everything. But you're doing great. That ain't it. That's actually a very nice attempt. It doesn't work or anything, but it's a very nice attempt. Something we should say here. So the attempt is to say maybe you're getting mate at king h7, queen h5. It's not true because of queen h6, but still. It would have been better, I think, to trade queens directly, just on a, let's call it a practical level. And when you say instinctively this is a mistake, he's already made his mistakes, Bows. He's already made his mistakes. Yeah. Fine. You're killing this guy. Just give it all to me. Good. Good. And now you need to stop it. Very nice. Okay. A little frisky, but okay. You could have taken his queen. But we prefer mate. Well, there you go, dude. There you go. So one of the things I want to say about this game, first of all, good annotations, is that the path to 1000 and beyond is taking people's stuff and then being a little bit aware of tempo. And you did both. You're just taking dude's stuff. They're giving you time. You're taking it. This is a very nice annotation saying that you're a little better. I think at your level, for example, it's fine to say you're a little better. I would say you're winning, for example. I think it's over because you have time and you got that big fatty pawn, right? But at this level, to call that a small advantage, totally correct. Totally correct. There's still, going to be work to be done. Both sides are still going to make mistakes. Okay. All right. Here we go. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to go recent. Bang. So I was thinking that beyond. Now we got Kellen Blackman. Frisbee Dogs. Gone up quite a bit. Looks like they're ready almost. They're almost ready for the next one too. And I like that. I like that name. Every pawn you take. Uh-huh. Let's look at the activity here. And we're going to go down one. And tactics. Beautiful. I've noticed actually with the lower cohorts that they get less of the Polgar mates. And I really think it's so important for every cohort, including mine. And so I'm happy to see that every breath you take here is doing some mates. Very nice. How many? 306. Nice. Basically all of them. So they did all of the Polgar mates in one. And then let's look tactics. We just did that, buddy. We just did that. We got some endgame. Very good. Right? Very good. Games to memorize, win conversion. Fantastic. Okay. Let's see if they have any games. No games. All right. That'll be Every Breath You Take's next objective. Now, what are they doing, non-dojo? Playing some blitz, some rapid, some books. I click books. Sometimes you click books and it tells you something. But okay. Good. And so we're going to see Kellen here coming up quick in the next cohort. Easy. Easy. All right. So then we got, Vinicio Blindio. I follow this person on Twitter, and they've been crushing it. They've been crushing it. 119. I think from England. Squirty Jefferson. Now that's quite a name. Follow Vinicio Blindio. One thing that would be interesting for Vinicio, if I'm right that they're in England, but even in general, is like, will they start playing real chess over the board? And England has some cool leagues, man. Some really cool and fun leagues. Not only to get the over-the-board experience, but, to get to hang out with some other players. It definitely helps your game. So I'll recommend that. They just made it over the 1,000. Let's see how they did it. Basically, Vinicio's flying. You can see that they haven't done that much, and they're just killing it. So let's see, got some games. We might have, that was pretty recent. Let's see, I might have done this because Vinicio did graduate fairly recently already. Nice. Okay. If you haven't seen that, that's a good one to know. Black equalizes fairly easily now. Usually Bishop B5, DE 95, we'll call that rough equality. All right, Pepper Chest, thank you for the gifted subs. D4, a little weird. And this, we should spend a moment calculating all of the different options here for both sides. For one thing is the bishop is still, and bishop and knight are still pinned. So you can definitely consider playing this move, for example. They're still pinned. They're not going anywhere, So here, and the reason I was looking at that is that mildly, you're fine. You're fine. Beautiful. 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 Naughty. No, it wasn't naughty. Maybe a little bit. So, at a GM level, right, we would say that white is already in deep trouble because the bishop, especially that unopposed bishop, is very, very strong. But it does take a lot of finesse to win this kind of position. When I talk about strength, I'm talking about this dude here. Very strong bishop. Okay, and I'm glad you feel guilt about rook e8. That doesn't mean that rook e8 is necessarily a bad move. I definitely think g4 is a mistake because it gave you the option to just win the pawn with the snip-snop and rook takes e5. Notice, as you start moving up the annotations from cohort to cohort, you'll get some verbiage like we have here, but you'll also get variations. So for example, after g4, we definitely want to consider the variation pop, pop, and rop. Thank you very much. Yes, we gave away our good bishop, but hey, boss, we want a nice pawn, and those pawns are split over there, and we activated our rook, right? So then they played what they should have played on the move before. h5, okay. And one thing I want you to see about rook e8 is the problem now is not just that you didn't win the pawn on e5, but there's the danger that your rook ends up looking like a chump, right? h4, interesting. Not sure I get it. And that's a bad move. Bad because it lets you get rid of your isolated pawn, double pawn, and you want, it's in your interest anyway, to help open the game for the bishops. You're on some kind of journey over there, my friend. I don't know what it is you're searching for with bishop h5, but I don't know what it is. It looks cool. All right, here he comes. Now, he has a dastardly trick. It's true. Pop, pop, pop. 2 pawns lost as a result of a faulty plan. Okay, so Vinicio, Baus, you got to say what you should have done. Okay, very important. Also, I'm going to tell you something else critical, but hopefully it'll help, is that you're not using your time. Look at this. You started off, what did we start off with here, Baus? 45. And then let's go back to knight f6. You've only used 4 minutes, but dude, you only used 4 minutes, man. And nota bene, what happened here, I can tell you, I have a pretty good sense about what happened, is when you're playing this move h5 and stuff, and also the move where you didn't take on e5 after, say, or e4, excuse me, because I said e5 because you take on e4 and then you take on e5. When you didn't do that, you were just moving impulsively, like moving tat, 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 so fast, right? Slow down, boss, slow down. You've probably spent more time at this point annotating the game than you did actually playing the game. That's a blunder. Bang. Bang. Technically, we should say this is a better move. Again, variations. Variations. All right, let's see you finish this one out. Good, okay. Okay, I'm going to trust you on this one. There we go, Baus. No stalemate here. Good. Good game. Can I post a link to the program? Yes, I can. God, it's hot outside. Open the window, and this is the reward I get. This is the reward I get, Baus. Okay, can you let me? Oh, gosh, darn it. Scoreboard. It always goes directly to my one, which is the 2400 plus, but I think this one will take us to it here. You can also always hit training. That's always the quick way to find it. Okay, Vinicio Blandeo, you're going to make it, boss. 2 simple things. I'm going to say it again. More variations. The more you do here in terms of tactics and variations, the more you'll see in the game. Slow it down, Bows. Use the game analysis to understand that look what you did, dude. You spent two minutes. I mean, I get it. You had 15 seconds to move, but basically, 2 minutes for the whole game. All right, here we go. So, pop. Now I did it. Now I blew it. Now I got to go newsfeed. I blew it because I got it. All right, Kraai. Yeah. We used to have a recent thing, but I can find it. I just got to go view all, and that takes me to recent. Okay, Heraldahu, we've seen before. To have a full curriculum laid out that I can just plow through is just amazing. The calendar is a fantastic feature and will be even more amazing as more members discover and use it. Totally agree with that. I've been with the program since the beta. Health has failed me a bit this year, but the program was there ready for me when I got back into chess. Right on, dude. Right on. Okay, here we go. This is Heraldahu. 64 years old. Oh, man, I love it when someone's older than me. Melbourne, Australia. Oh, altitude mountaineer. Oh, I'd love to do that in New Zealand, man. That sounds great. I'd love to go climbing up in some mountains, dude. Okay, so now Heraldahu, almost there, and they've crossed the barrier before, but technically didn't make it to 1,000. Maybe they fell down, I don't know, a week or so ago. So let's see activity, and we're going to look at the last one. Some nice work, and games and analysis. Okay. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Let's click on games. Okay, yeah. And then we got some tactics. Polgar mates in 2. Very good. Very good. So, let's see if we get some games. And we do. Heraldahu's been around a long time. Let's do Bakuman because Bakuman is a dude I've seen a little bit around. Another tense game in postmortem. So what does that mean? In the dojo, will often happen when you play in the dojo tournaments that you will get a postmortem. Get to think about how they saw it without looking at the engine first, right? Okay, so. All pawns, no hope. There's actually a lot of hope in this one. I covered this in the dojo repertoire. It's a great way to play for black. Now, so you should definitely castle here. And part of the beauty of this variation that's counterintuitive when the first time you see it is it will often be the case that black can attack on the king side. And the grief about bishop e6 is that you're getting in the way of your rook. And both rooks are going to want to fight for this file. Queen c2, knight d7, bishop h7. That looks like a mistake. g6, good move. Snip, snap, queen. Bakuman said it would make sense to him to trade the pawn for 3 pieces, thus plus preventing castles, and certainly having my king side blown open with a check and queen and dark square bishop ready to attack in coordination on h3. Looked very scary, and my king was stuck in the middle. However, I can kick the queen. And I think that's a good analysis. One thing maybe to observe about a position like this is that white doesn't have any of their stuff out, So if they had stuff out, then maybe something like this could work. But unclear. And notice that light square bishop there, so strong. So strong. All right, let's hope for queen e7 and castles long. Check to the miserable king. Dang. Now, it looks a little greedy to me, but I think you're fine. You're attacking the knight. We'll bring it back. A little weird. Castles. Now you're doing great. I would say you're definitely winning. But I appreciate that we can be modest and we'll say, yeah, it's just a little bit better for me. King b8, good move. He's getting all pawns, no hope. 95. Dang, bows. And both of them are pretty good, honestly. I believe in that, too. Both look good. Queen e4, check to the miserable king. Dang, you're getting good, man. You're getting good. These are some tactics. Dang, check. Now, I'm not sure about this one. So, let's say something obvious. You could play rook takes d4 here, right? At least that would be a question for us. You could also play even maybe more deadly, queen c4, and then the dude has to worry about bishop d5. So maybe this works, but it makes me very nervous because now you have some junk hanging. Yeah. Rook b1. Bishop g4. So we got to say this was not the right way. You might still be winning, but you gave up a bunch of stuff, dude. You gave up a bunch of stuff, dude. All right, now this scared. That was a little frightening, but queen e7. There's a problem with queen e7. Oh, it's actually very interesting. Queen e7. Let's see what we did here. Check. But that looks like oh man, we're close. We're close to losing this. Bishop f4. If we did not have queen f4 check, we would be the ones losing. Now Bakuman's the one calling the ambulance. Right? Okay, great. So, very instructive game actually for both. And I will tell you this. There is a lot of experience that goes into understanding when 3 pawns for the piece is going to be a good thing. And one way to think about this as a paradigmatic example where Bakuman goes for it with bishop h7 is that you have to ask yourself, well, what are the pawns going to be doing? And are my pawns going to be restricting black's pieces? In this example, no, right? Black's pieces are the ones coming alive, especially this bad boy here. There are positions, though, I'm sure we'll see them in some of these dojo games, where this kind of thing will definitely pan out. But again, the pawns have to be doing something. They are people. Hi, Krabby Crab, that's right. Do I need a new blender? That's so funny that you say that. I know what happened to it. I know exactly what you're saying, DMO, I think I know what you're saying, Bobs. I'll get to it in a second. Oh, so almost no. Kostya is saying, Kostya is saying that he wants to get on at 3 o'clock Eastern, which is an hour and a half. I got 21 people here, dude. I got 21, dude. 21 mofos. I don't see how it's possible. Okay, so maybe it will stop the stream or something. All right, let's go back to recent. Harold the Who, we're going to see you again, boss. I like your pursuit, your journey. No, I didn't want this. I wanted recent. Where'd my recent go, Bows? Here we go. Newsfeed. View all, and then this is what I got to copy. Okay. So that was Harold Who. Now we got Gurgay. So 123-point gain. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Okay. Especially recently. Just crushing it. And then we got, we're going to go back one. Some easy work from Gurgay. No games. So Gurgay had a recent burst, and they're in the wrong cohort, though, boss. Gurgay, wrong cohort, bud. See? So that's incorrect, Mundo, Gurgay. Okay, now we're going to go recent again. Pop. So, Vivian, let's look. That's a graph. That's an erect graph, my friends. Look at that thing. Vivian, crushing. So, that's beautiful. And that's less than a month. That's less than a month. Okay, let's look at activity. Nothing, but wait, go back one. Some easy work from Vivian. I'm going to assume there's no games. Nothing. Okay. So Vivian is clearly on the path, not close to her or I'm assuming her plateau, and looking good. Then we got D. Lely. Now D. Lely's been around for a little bit. I gotta. Oh, that's what I need. I gotta clean these glasses. They're schmutzish, man. Schmutzish. Give me just a second. Old man cleans his glasses. Oh man. Here we go. My eyes have been killing me, dude, because I've been spending too much time streaming. I spent about 2 months, 60 hours in this cohort, and I'm graduating even if I still have plenty of stuff I didn't do in this one. Decided to move up because I did the tactics content for this cohort and need to move to the next book and the next batch of Polgar mates. It helps me feel the progression. Well, if I keep doing chess tempo, I feel like the hamster's spinning the wheel forever. I'm not yet where my classic rating on Lee Chess would put me, but so far none of the cohorts was easy. Okay, now this D. Lely, listen up, boss. First we're just gonna click on D. Lely for a second. Well, D. Lely, dude, you're still in the wrong cohort, dog. Wait, this has been going on for a while with D. Lely, you know? So D. Lely's way up there above where they should be. And like I'm saying, trust. Okay, wait. Let me yell at you a little bit, D. Lely. And this will be for a lot of other people who are doing the same thing as you. Trust the program, boss. You do the work in your rating cohort. It's going to take you where you need to go. Chess Tempo might be a nice site, but it's a distraction, right? Let's read what you say. The real game changer for me in this cohort was the possibility to consider 30-30 as slow enough for my games. Okay. Now, you're above this cohort, Bows. You're above this cohort, D. Lely. All right, here we go. Let's click on games and see what's going on. D. Lely. Okay. 30-30 games. Okay. It'd be good to see the times used. Another Caro. Fine. Fine. Good move. Great. So White's doing a really highfalutin thing here with H3. And, let's just say that this person playing White is getting too fancy, not developing their stuff. Either Knight F3 or Bishop F4 would be called for. Did a great course. Jessable called It's About Time. You just follow the principles and this kind of thing isn't going to happen to you. Knight E2, obviously strange. And here you could do a lot of different things. E4 looks great, Bishop D6, you're developing, fine. I like E4 because it smushes the bishop. Okay, now one thing I want you to see about knight takes D3, it's not the worst move, but you will be developing the queen when you take. Okay, very important thing to see. A lot of people don't understand this. I talked about this in the course, right? Now, is this an easy position to know what to do for black? No, but your default move could be something like rook E8 because you know that the rook wants to go there. And now you're getting a little fancy with A6. I think rook E8 or knight E4. Good move. Now let's plant that knight on E4. Okay, I still, it's a little weird. I understand. You want to play queen D6. Okay. That ain't it. One of my typical mistakes. Now, one thing I want you to see about this, D. Lely, and this is what the main thing I want you to see is the need to do variations. So you're assuming that bishop f4 was like the crusher body blow, and it hurts you, there's no doubt. But I want you to see that this also doesn't work. This doesn't work. Let's say it was your move. You're still not threatening anything, Paus. You're still not threatening nothing. So in your notes, it's important to understand this kind of thing, because this, knight g4, is where you really are clearly losing your mind. Nota bene as well, one thing I can see from your play is that in this position, beginning with this knight takes d3 move, now when I think back on what you did, everything that you do now is oriented just on one idea, which is queen h2 mate. But there's more going on in the position than just queen h2 mate. Sometimes bishop c7, queen d6 is a fine thing, right? But you give a concession, right? Dude brings his knight in, could have played bishop g5. And now you're not really in a position to mate anymore with a knight on f3. But you can do other things. You can play knight e4 here, right? You could still play bishop c7 and queen d6. By the way, bishop e3, not great because he's in the way of the file. And then pop. That looks like a good move. Pop, pop, bishop e6. It's kind of weird that, does the equal sign mean that you offer to draw? Is that what it means, dude? I don't know. Okay. Now, one thing, oh, and by the way, one thing I missed to talk about is the times. So let's go look, and for example, with knight g4. Is this true that you've got, oh yeah, you were already in deep time pressure, man. Yeah. So in contrast to a lot of other people, you're thinking not long enough. Now, one of the basic things about the dojo training program, we want people to play longer games, right? This is great that you're thinking. This is great. And playing even longer time controls, I'm certain, would be even more beneficial for you. Okay, good. So we're going to see D. Lely again because dude needs to graduate again. D. Lely needs to come in back. D. Lely needs to come back for another one. Can I offer a course on time management? Maybe. I got some ideas for time management. I don't know if I need a full course, but yeah. So that was D. Lely. Now we're going to look. Truck Score. Truck Score, dude, is graduating just all the time. Okay. Embrace the Polgar mates, and wish that even more tactics were assigned. I quite enjoyed Tactics Time. This is a book, actually, by the way, some people are really upset about. I've already completed all Polgar mates for my new cohort in advance. Did pick up the 2 books assigned, but sad to see not too much in the way of new tasks to do otherwise. The hardest thing I found is trusting the program. Not because I don't believe in it, but because of how easy it is to read a non-dojo book or do non-dojo tactics and think I know best when obviously I don't. I actually did some sparring for the first time since joining the dojo, and that was a blast. This feels like a bit of a fake graduation as I'm basing it off of ChessCom Rapid and mainly 1510, but I hope my over-the-board catches up in 2 to 3 weeks with more games. Great. Please don't roast too hard for my talk of opening courses in my last game. Right. So, something I want to say about Truck Score and a lot of other people. Some people get obsessed with tactics. Some people get obsessed with endgames, right? And the thing about the program is we're trying to force you to be exposed to the things that maybe you're not so comfortable doing. So imagine you're some dude who goes to the gym and really likes powerlifting. Well, then they just do the same thing over and over again. They never learn to do a handstand. They never learn to run. They never learn to do these other things that are very important for their fitness, right? Maybe they know how to run, but they're just getting really worse and worse at it. And so that maybe is a metaphor for thinking about the program and what trusting the program means, right? Because it means like, yeah, you're going to do something maybe you think is either dumb or you think you don't need it or it makes you uncomfortable, right? That's the heart of it, right? The tactics, when you get better, right, The tactics there's a lot of tactics to do. You advance, and yes, there will be more and more tactics. Let's click on truck score here. So, 26-year-old computer engineer. Recreational power lifter. I called it with a powerlifting. Nice. Okay. Great. So, Canadian, right? And they've definitely, looks like maybe they dropped just a touch after achieving 1100. And Truck Score is very active in Discord, so it's cool to see Truck Score make it. I'd be interested to see. Yeah, maybe there's a lot. I wouldn't say there's a lot of power lifters in the dojo, but there are definitely some. Strong Chess, I guess, is the one who is the most out there. He's always posting pictures, on the Twitter and stuff. Anyways, it'd be cool to see what Truck Score's doing with the powerlifting. I'm doing CrossFit, but there's certainly some powerlifting that goes into it. Okay, here we go. Activity. We're going to go down one here, right? Let's go this one. That's a lot of work, Truck Score. That's great, man. That's great. Let's click around a little bit. Endgame. Good. Tactics. We've got a lot of mates in 2. And Truck Score is saying they're already done the next section. And then we got this tactics time. Fantastic. The survival and learn chess the right way. 131 hours. Dang. Oh, he did. It's about time, man. Nice, dude. Nice. I'm hoping people like that. It's a little bit different than your standard Chessable course, It's also shorter, so some people were like, this isn't long enough. And I was like, it's meant that way. It's not supposed to take that long. All right. I'm not ignoring all of chat, buddy. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. So, let's get into it. Games. And I'm certain that I can't pronounce this. Let's call him Diem Liam is in the dojo as well. There we go. Game with someone in the dojo. So, let's check it out. Beautiful. This is part of the aggressive repertoire for white. Here I make a case for bishop g5, but this move is also fine. g6. I knew this couldn't be right. I didn't understand if the opponent wanted to fianchetto, but just felt like a loss of time as e6 was likely to follow in the near future. Well said. Well said. By the way, we're dealing with an 1100 cohort, and, we're getting some pretty fancy openings. One thing you'll find if you study openings, Truck Score, is your opponents will do weird stuff like g6, right? And then the power move is going to be e6. I'm going to have a feeling you're going to put it in your notes. So that's why e6, either e6 now or check to the miserable king and queen a6 first. I guess I would do the latter. So g6, knight f3. And you're absolutely right, e6 is the move. Good notes. By the way, you're starting to see some variations. Absolutely. Now they play e6. Now, you are still doing great because that g6 move was an unnecessary loss of time. Check to the miserable queen, bishop e7. Now, bishop e7, it's important to understand this is a positional problem. I think you mentioned it. Yeah, so we are okay with trading the dark square bishop. That's exactly what you said. So, well said. And you're moving pretty fast. And now, sometimes, well, actually, let's look. Let's look at something. So here you've got 102. And here, basically, you moved instantly. Okay? So one thing about moving quickly here is there are some positions where you can move quickly in the opening when you have a sense. But when your spidey sense says, hey, that g6 doesn't look right, take a moment. Take a moment. You got plenty of time here. You're now playing classical chess. Dude, Lumbos, I brought up the handstand thing because the handstand thing, it's legitimately difficult for me, Baus. It's legitimately difficult. There are there's several physical things I'm not good at, and the handstand is definitely one of them. So one thing to note about this situation is that black is going to have a problem not having the white queen pinball around the dark squares. And what black needs to somehow make happen in some kind of pronto way, though it's not easy anymore, is to achieve the knight to f5. But there's problems. There's problems on the horizon for that maneuver. It's just because it doesn't have a lot of time anymore to do it. Knight d7, and now you play c4, which I think is mostly fine. And rook a c1 is fine. I like queen e3 here with the idea of preventing knight h6 and talking to those dark squares. Taking on c4 is always going to be suicidal for black because you get the e4 square. But that's fine, you're developing. c5, that ain't it. Let's see what you would say here. Normally I'd love this as the file is even closer to opening. Right, now this is horrible, c5. And let's talk about why. Because in this position, the value of time, there's in any position, first of all, the value of time will go up when the position opens. Who's up dramatically in time? You are, boss. You are up in time. Okay? So they are opening the windows to their house before, the maid has been in to clean it up. And so rook fe1 is fine, but a great move here would be queen e3. Talking to the dark squares, getting ready to pop this late, just pop it all open, baby. Everything. And we will mate you. We will mate you. But fine. Okay. Fine. It's a little bit of a bummer that we don't win that bishop. But queen f4, by the way, is what I would want to do. I want to talk to all those dark squares. You're still crushing it here, though. Queen b6, cd5. So let me understand something here, Truck Score. Did you see bishop takes f2? I saw the idea, okay, bishop f2, king h1. What I don't understand, though, look, you're in complete control of the game. Why would you, after queen b6, which is really just a dude who's searching for an idea here, why would we give him the hope of bishop f2, right? This person doesn't deserve any hope. I don't deserve any hope. cd5, rook c8. Now that's a bad move, and I'm hoping you played like king h1 here. Let's see what you did. Knight c4. Maybe also winning. Maybe also winning. Okay. That ain't it. Boom. You're slaying this person. Now, DM Liam, you got to, next time you play chess, Baus, you got to develop your stuff. b4. Dang. Take it easy, Baus. b5. Pop. Pop. I like queen c4 here, but all right. You did play queen c4. You're slaying. Thank you very much. Queen takes e6. Yep. Still, you're absolutely killing. Black ran out of time. Okay. Dude. Well, that's great, man. That was a really good game. And that's definitely good annotations. So I'm going to feature this game. You can see that we have to figure out how we do on the dojo with the featured game. We used to have a tab called Recent where we also had the graduates. And that's where you find it, when the tab I'm about to go to. But let me just tell a little bit about a project. We have this project now where we are putting together, we're going to put together all the top games into a book, all the cohort games as we call them. And then for next year, do a new list. We're calling this book The Best of the Dojo. And then if I feature it, then it'll give me and others the chance to be like, oh, this game is in consideration for a well-annotated game. Okay. So, All right, now let's go back to the recent. Congratulations, truck score, man. That's nice. So, Deleli, truck score, mittens. Dude, mittens, I've already said, we've already seen too. Second graduation. By getting out of provisional, I was able to move up 2 cohorts. Without the dojo, I wouldn't have had the motivation. All right, let's check out mittens. So, something drastic happened to mittens. There's CFC. It's a weird thing. Something's going on here, right? Because this is just like the last week, but we know that they started at 1247. Maybe it's in the last couple of days they tanked. In any case, let's take a look at mittens. Let's follow mittens. All right. All right, some easy work. We got some tactics going on. Mates in 1 and mates in 2. Good. And games and analysis. Well, we're going to probably see some annotated games here. Let's see what we got for mittens. Miscalculation. It's a funny name. So, nope. We need more than that miscalculation. Let's see if we get another one. Oh, there's some variations. Let me just see if we get another chance here. Okay, miscalculation. I want to say you're doing great, but we need to see more. So, for example, that's actually pretty well played, honestly. This would be a spot to think about like plans and such, right? I do want to say I like, for the most part, how you're playing. Here, for example, maybe knight g3. There's a lot to talk about, is what I'm trying to say. And why isn't black developing their knight? We don't know. So you could say e5. That's a weird move. Why not knight c6, for example? Or over here, bishop d7. Why are they doing that? Why? What's the deal about knight c6? How come no knight c6? That kind of thing, right? Okay, miscalculation. Well done. Let's go back to recent. And now it's going to get a little tricky because I got to go to the next page. I need a way to get to the next page, you know? That's a technical question. Now we got Ben Hedges. Glad to see the tweaks to the time control. For me, it isn't about the time control specifically, but the access to the available time controls. 45 now gives me another option as I look for classical games. Okay, good. Now, as you guys might have noted, we've softened the time controls a little bit. And a lot of it honestly had to do with precisely this 45 thing that we wanted people, since it was such a popular time control of the longer time controls, that we wanted that to be an option. Yeah. Okay. So, let's click on Ben Hedges. That's a nice looking graph. Okay. Definitely almost ready for the next graduation at 1175. Let's follow Ben. And now we'll look at the training. And we're going to go back 1. That's some pretty good work. One of the things, well, look at that, 91 hours but 27 points. What's going on over here? Hold on. They're doing loads of tactics on the side. That's what's going on with their non-dojo points. We got a tactics fiend in Ben over here. So we also got some good games played, annotated, postmortems. Okay, I like all of that. Okay, now let's go games. Sherbs. So, classical game in the 45 league. Huh? Okay. Fine. And generally, if they let you play e5, you should do it. Yeah. So, just on a principled perspective, e4 is incorrect in the sense that white's already made a move to get the light square bishop out. No need to make another one. What's the correct move? Knight f3 is the correct move, right? If they're going to play this way with d3. Why don't I like it? Because it's not clear you need that move. What would I have liked better? Castles, exactly, right? Okay, and let's talk about this actually. This variation is instructive. First of all, you don't have to take with a bishop, and it's important to see that this pawn would be great. And there's a common saying that every Russian schoolboy knows to take back with the pawn, and this is the situation they're talking about. Usually in a King's Indian structure, but we're very basically close to a King's Indian structure right now. And the point is that that pawn is a beautiful central force in the game, and next move you'll play, or soon you will play e5 for complete central control. And bishop f5 is fine, especially after c6, but just know that bishop gf would be, some GMs would play gf. Let's just put it that way. Definitely horrendous. Definitely horrendous. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Now, nota bene, okay? When your opponents are playing like this, it doesn't make any sense to be studying openings, right? Knight a6, g4, and it's weird to go all the way back. Just put it on d7. Just put it on d7, Bows. Castles, good. h4, waste of time, exactly. All right, queen b6. In general, fine, you're developing. Bang, nice shot. There's all those tactics you've been doing, Bows. That's right. You give some variations. That's a dirty, is that a dirty little trick you did right there? Knight b4. Well, I think I'm in favor of this dirt. This is pure dirt here you're throwing down. Yeah, dude, nice move. I don't even know if it's correct, but I like the intention. And you got some great notes here. Actually, one thing is just interesting to think about Ben here for other people working on their game is that he's in the 1,000, 1,100 cohort, but he's doing a lot more variations than you typically see at this level. And so he's hyper-focused on the tactics, and it leads him to find a move like, first of all, knight g4, and then knight b4, which is very clever. Right? And, yeah, we're mating over here if they take. Pop, let's see their variation. Pop, yeah. Check, all, I don't even know what he says, but probably this. Mate, checkmate. Proud to say I calculated this mate out from afar on move 12. It's the Bulgar mates, my friend. I have sunk down in the chair, by the way. I have fully sunk down into the chair. All right. So, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, well done. Good. Look at that. Pieces just coming together. Yep, that's not going to save you. And we're at it again. Geez, just take it easy, Bows. Dang. Be nicer. Yep, bang. It's just a yard sale over here. Well done, Ben Hedges. That was great. That's beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that is a great game, and I will say your looks much better than somebody in the 1,000, 1,100 cohort. Generally, I would have much more, little tiny complaints, and the only one I felt kind of funny with was the C6, just because you were afraid of this GF5 position, right? But that's just something that comes with experience to know that, like, oh yeah, that's actually fantastic, right? Okay. So that was awesome, dude. A 1,000 to 1,100 cohort. They're looking stronger here, my friend. These people are going to be taking down GMs pretty soon, boss. Pretty soon they're going to be taking down some GMs. Dang. I don't mess with the dojo, man. Okay, so I'm going to have to click over here. Pop. And we got blue skies. It looks like this might be a performative graduation because we're not seeing, well, we're seeing something. Let's see what we got. Well, a little bit. 9 minutes. 9 minutes. No. Okay. So they have made it, but it's unclear. They might have just begun the program, you know? Okay, well, hopefully we'll see blue skies soon enough. Get some more information on how they're doing. Ooh, I gotta find a way to get to the second page of graduations. So next up we have, I can't say it. I can't say it. This might also be a performative graduation. We'll go back one. 53 hours. Huh. So maybe somebody who hasn't really taken the time to enter their stuff in, because look at all this stuff, you know. We got puzzle survival, you know, okay. And then here, tactics, puzzle survival. Maybe an immense amount of time spent on puzzle survival. Okay. So I have a feeling we're not going to see games. No. Yeah. So, okay, let's say something obvious. This person has been obsessed with tactics, which for a time is going to be fine. And I wish them the best. Hopefully we'll see some more games and such from them. Okay, good. Let's go back. Oh, it's not going to work right. Just go back here. And then I'm going to have to I have to talk to Jack about some way for me to easily get to the second page of graduations. Okay, so Akirus. Dang, look at that. That's like my heart rate. That's a heart rate graph. Let's see what's going on here. So, good graduation. Let's go activity. I'm going to go back one. That's some good work. Okay. Focus on the end game. Good. And let's see if we got some games. We do, but we expect to have some games. All right, let's see what we got. So Sakirus. Here and Now. Okay, so Here and Now is playing somebody much lower. Here and Now is also in the dojo. And let's take a look. We're going to do an hour game and hour plus 30. So this is going to be somebody much higher rated, you know, so we'll see how this goes. Fine. Fine. And here I would prefer knight d7. Okay. I would also prefer maybe some more notes. And it's important to see that with c5, you're not helping your development, right? Pawn moves are not developing moves. You're in a little bit of trouble here, and a good move by Here and Now. He could have taken with the knight as well, but the queen's cool because since the pawn is on c6, the queen can't be readily attacked, right? So, boom. Good move. Good move. Good move. Here and Now's playing a great game. This is what it looks like when you play someone higher rated. Night before. Unless we have some follow-up, this is superficial. Okay, and what black feels the follow-up is to take the knight. But taking the knight, probably from Here and Now's perspective, is fine. Furthermore, the knight on b4 is actually Let's call him an expensive tourist. Expensive because you're going to have to move back someday. G6. Notice what you're doing with G6. With G6 now, you're trying to move the bishop away from the D6 pawn to be fancy. But that pawn can't be moved. Castles. Good move. A3. Good move. Knight B5. I would say, here and now, this is what it looks like when you play a higher rated player. And now I think we're gone. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It should be noted, though, that you're toast for two reasons. One, you're down a pawn, and two, the bishops are it's just too much, dude. It's too much. You can barely move anymore. For example, rook d1. How do you even get your boys out? How do the boys even come out, Bows? I don't know. I don't think they do. It's some grim tidings is what it is. Grim tidings. Okay, so 97. Pop. Actually, mild complaint for here and now. Definitely better to check on h3 first. Probably just so happy to take that pawn. Good move. Fine. Tricky. Nice. Oh, dude, here and now is bringing it. It is great. Simple chess, yeah. Oh, here and now. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you play a higher rated player and you lose time in the opening. So let me stress, this is a good illustration. There was a book ages ago called Master versus Amateur or something like that. And a lot of the games look like this, where one side did something strategically wrong and it fell apart. And it made it look like White's task was fairly easy, right? White played great, but this is what it looks like. So we gave away time in the opening, okay? And that's, when you get past the 1,000 mark, they're not going to give you as many pieces, but they will give you time. I've said this a lot. And when they give you time, it's kind of a skill set of learning how to take advantage of those mistakes. And this is what it looks like when it's done right by here and now. Okay, so let's go back. Boom. It's a little bit awkward. I got to always go to the second page. Me and Jack are going to figure that out. All right. Next up, we got Toonber, who I've seen around before. That's a pretty good graph. They just hit 1,300. Beautiful 145-point gain. I like it a lot. Let's follow Toonber. We got some activity. Got this. I don't know. I feel like I've seen Toonber before, but here I'm not seeing anything. And yeah, they've been around because Jack doesn't have, you don't get on the rating. You get on the rating graph like when you started, which is the beginning of Dojo. So I think Toonber just hasn't put their business in. Yeah, Toonber's here, but hasn't been putting their business in. Okay, but still, congratulations. All right, that's Toonber. And now we got Alex Vasai. Love the concept in the book recommendations. However, I couldn't assist on the recordings of the senseis and the members. I would enjoy them if I could schedule my time in advance for them. I'm a little bit unsure what you mean. Maybe couldn't be there for the recordings or the streams, These streams may be what we're talking about. Let's click on Alex. We got a nice little gain there. Let's follow. Nice picture. 1523, just made it. It looks good. Nice jump. Activity. Okay, we're going to go back one. And we got a lot of endgame work. Boom. Beautiful. Okay, great. A little bit of game, so maybe we'll have some game analysis. And really, you do it in 10 hours. Well, Mouse. Well, you're going to be going up to the next cohort beyond that even faster. So, what I'd like then is to click on games. We got one. Aeroplanino. This is what I advocate in the aggressive dojo repertoire for white on Chessable. A6 is not as bad of a move as it looks like. F4, D6. And here you change your mind, which is fine. Which is fine. You could also go for G3 here. Correct. Now, maybe it'd be good to talk about, well, yeah, you're going to try to prove that A6 was losing time. Great. Now, of course, A6 in the Sicilian is a useful move, but still, I like the conception here. Now, Bishop B2, let's call that normal. Queen C7, castle's good. Queen B6, losing time. Yeah, and basically black is pawn hunting, but we're going to have to pay for this pawn. Yeah, that ain't it. And now we need to do some calculation. So you come up with knight A4 now, which definitely has some dangers for black. If this doesn't work, the other one that I would want to analyze would be knight D5, because this is a threat, so I think dude's got to take. And then the only natural move for them is to take like that, and then you have full positional domination, right? Because dude isn't even close to castled. Now, your knight A4 might also work, but it's definitely more complicated. Queen A3. It should work, honestly. And now you played C3. This is pretty spicy. Okay. C3. Boom. And now knight E4 happens, and you're playing bishop C1. Beautiful. Wow. Wow. That was pretty intense, man. That was pretty intense. Is there any way out for dude, though? Let's think about it a second. First of all, I fully believe in your position. So we can't play B5 yet because this knight is hanging. So knight D4 would be bishop D4, and the queen is still cornered. But we should then continue to analyze B5. The only way for the queen to get out. Now, do I still believe in your position? I do, but notice the knight will move. Let's say we put the rook here. And now it's not clear that we're winning the queen. We should, however, say, hey, gotta love the position because black is so far down in time. And if I was annotating the game for myself, this would be, I'd want to do some variations here. This is very nice calculation. Very nice. And one of the things I want you to see about what happens in online games is this dude. Look at this. This 94 is like, 94, that's a free pawn. He's like, that's a free pawn, bud. And then you came up with some nasty sauce here, man. Now let's just look here. Knight A4, how long are you taking? Good, about 6 minutes. And then C3, you took some time too. And one of the key things I've seen in watching these online games is you get people, like maybe your opponent is kind of a genius, but because they're playing online, they're just playing like chumps. They're not even thinking. Like, oh, maybe C3 has a threat. And you nail him for his crimes here. Beautiful. And here, I think it would be interesting to try to give a estimate or a sense of what your evaluation of the position is. Because black did get a bunch of pawns. My personal sense is that you're winning here because the development advantage. So even though the queens are off, the development advantage here should be just way too intense for black to be able to deal with it. For example, now you own the c file. Rook d8, rook c1. I fully approve. You could definitely play bishop f3. You could definitely play rook c7, though, as well, because rook c7, bishop c6, bishop f3, also a pain in the you-know-what, but you're doing great. Oh, dude, this is glorious. This is glorious. Let's hurt this person. This is what they deserve. Now, this one I'm not 100% with, bishop b7. No, I am. I'm 100%. Because what you didn't fall for is you didn't fall for this business. But what that means actually is this move is inaccurate. You need to go back here to hold this square, because this rook is the one that needs to enter, and this is the rook that needs to hold the square. So for example, here black could mess with you with bishop b5. Now, are you still doing great? You are, but there all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I can't abandon this square. Okay, so bishop b7, and now bishop b5, but there was a problem here. What about rook b8? And then you say knight d7, good, boom, boom. All right, good job, good job. I was expecting this move, rook b8, okay. Rook b4, rook b8, rook c7. Now, maybe you're lucky, but it also has to be said that your position is so rich here that you will get lucky simply because your pieces are so much better. Good. Simple chess. Simple chess. Yeah. Now, black should probably play on at this level, but good game. Good game. And what are we going to say? We're going to say somebody who didn't think about what was going on. Look at this guy. This guy has the exact same, has more time now than when they started, right? Typical of online play. Second, we're going to say, great example of the time that they will give us, right? So again, this new phase of development, 1,000 plus, a lot of it will be them giving us time, and how do we exploit them giving us all that time. Okay, beautiful. Let's go to recent. We got a lot of graduates today here. Kostya, if you're listening, I might be able to finish this show by 3. We'll see. I'm not going to rush it, though. Very new to the dojo and really don't want to consider that I graduated because I feel I haven't earned it yet with my dojo work, but rather to be in a more appropriate cohort. Good. I'll still be working on the 15-16 material as well. No, boss. Go to your new material. I played one game in the long time controls ever, and I think it's a beauty. Okay. So, we're probably going to see that game in your files, hopefully. Beautiful. So now listen, what's very interesting, Adam, is you got this high without ever playing a longer game, and that's a beautiful thing, because that means that you have a lot more growth once you start playing those longer games. Okay, let's click. Yeah. So here they are, 1654. They do have a USCF rating, but it's stagnant. Right. Now you can actually see with the over-the-board ratings, Like this person is much better than their over the board ratings. This guy shows up at some tournament, wastes a bunch of people, and then we're going to say, oh man, this whole rating system is deflated, right? This whole thing is deflated. I'm going to follow Adam here, and we're going to go down one cohort. And they have done a lot of endgame work. Good. 21 hours. Fantastic. What are they doing non-dojo? Okay, some openings and stuff. Okay. Now at 15, 16, you are allowed to do some openings. All right, so now games. Here we got, this must be the game that Adam was talking about. Right, I am now a believer in long time controls. I calculated my heart out in this game. I am also deciding not to do a computer analysis of the game. Fine. Great. Oh, I'm loving this guy. Here we go. Boom. Good. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Yeah, your E3 move is fine. Queen C2 is also a move here to enable E4. But I'm pretty sure we would find many strong GMs playing E3. Bishop F4 is a little unstable because the knight will sometimes whack it. I think you're doing fine. D5. Now, CD5 is kind of tricky because now what you need to feel is that your bishop on C1 has a problem, right? It's really important to actually feel it. So, castles, knight D7. Here, an issue is you playing B4 instead of castling would serve two purposes. One, to give your bishop on C1 a little bit more scope, and two, to mess with black's queenside bunch of pawns there, right? Yeah. So that's why you should play B4 here, and black should play C5 right now to prevent B4. Rook E1. I can allow C5 and do nothing about it. You could play B4 bows. The following analysis shows that B4 doesn't work. This is why I chose to allow C5. Okay, pawn takes. And here a very standard move to make would be rook B1. To just be like, bows, what do you want? And you have one positional problem to solve, and that's your bishop on C1 here. And we'll say this is an interesting situation for black. Personally, I think white is a little bit better here just because there's a problem with the bishop on B7. And then from the old, I'm really going deep now, right? But the old Kasparov-Karpov matches from back in the day, it was actually Kasparov-Karpov matches with the B4 variation, the Queen's Gambit, the Glide. There was a lot of games that looked very similar to this, and it would be here. And the problem would be that when we have this weakened pawn structure, black wants to use it to control the center. White wants to trade off some stuff, especially minors, to weaken the weak pawns. Okay. So, knight e4, good move. And here, what I like to say is that this bishop is like a helicopter parent. See, like at the moment, it kind of looks like a chump, but then when it lives through the dreams of its child here on e4, you're like, oh yeah, that bishop is having some influence. All right, so knight d2. What I want you to feel is you are not solving your bishop on c1. Okay, and the longer that lasts, the more problematic that's going to be. Now, f5, they could have also played knight df6. f5 is the most ambitious, and I kind of like it. Queen c2, again, you're not solving your problem. And now c5. So what should black play here? There's a very typical maneuver, which is bishop d6, exclam, and this would shut down all of your notions. Because I get what you want. You want to push the knight away, right? But look, end of the ball game. End of the ball game. He could also play bishop h2, also end of the ball game. And then you might also consider knight b5, but then we have end of the ball game, right? Let's just show that variation. And it's just pure misery, okay? All right, so your opponent misses it though, and then you kick. And now we have a very delicate position for black. If they go back, it's not going to work out. So, bishop h4, g3, queen g5, and they are getting hairy. You should expect things to be hairy because your bishop on c1 is not in the game, and consequently your rook on a1 is not in the game. Rook e2. And now we get this c4 move. This is fun. This is fun. Whew, spicy. Queen f6. This is not a threat. Correct. I'm up a pawn. I get a pass with e5. I'm going to take out his bishop next with knight f3. My bishop isn't great, but I can bring it in with b3 and a4. Good. So, absolutely correct. And we should also ask ourselves, though, what should black do and what's the eval? I feel like with this move, I don't know exactly what's going on, but that's the move we should look at, because if we don't take this pawn, then we don't get to play knight f3. If we do take the pawn, then this bishop at least has scope, right? And it's a little hairy, maybe knight f6. And I don't know exactly what's going on. I just know I'm a little nervous, right? Because he's got those bishops and they're looking at me. Okay, so maybe that could be a good variation, but this is absolutely great that you were not terrified. Just calmly played that. Nice. King h1. Now that's bold. That's bold, man. You're just like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. One really cool thing about this position is that black has allowed these two pieces to be dominated. Okay. Boom. They try to free it. Yeah, you might as well. You might as well. Bang. Fearless. That's right. And now, yeah, you might be just simply winning here. That's pretty spicy. And I think you're saying after queen g4, d5 is the best move. Maybe, but it's not done yet. So, not sure I'm reading this right. So if you play, because d5 is bishop d5 and the rook's hanging, right? So let me just say an obvious thing. You're down 3 million tempo. And it's looking really hard. And now we went knight f3. And dude needed to play rook takes f3. And I think you're hosed. I'd be surprised if you weren't hosed here. It's just too many coconuts are falling. You know? Too many coconuts. GF. Queen takes bows. That's it. That's game. Rook g2, checkmate. You know, king g1, checkmate. So dude missed that. Now, one of the things I want you to see, by the way, it's hard for me to follow these variations here. I think you like knight f3, and you're talking about this calculation. What I want you to see is I think you're actually hosed here. And if you're not, if there is some magic, it's not easy for me to see why. So it would be like the situation you got yourself in happened because of this bro blocking this bro. And it looks very scary. And by the way, I want to give credit to your opponent. Like, whether it works or not, whether it works or not, they need to understand, that's their last chance. That's their last chance, Bows. Yeah. Maybe, no, that's big troubles here. Big troubles. Yeah. My head was just exploding with this beautiful variation with here, 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 and I'm threatening rook f1. Maybe this is too fancy, Kraai. That's a little too fancy. Just take it easy, buddy. Just take it easy. Anyways, we could also analyze knight ce4. I don't think it works, but we could analyze it. There's a couple ways in which it loses. So I think this is actually pretty great. Now let's go back and go to this position. I do believe in your position here. And if we say to ourselves, this is the guy that's got to be fixed, then knight f1, I think, is the move we want to play. And then black has to come up with something pronto to deal with this simple regrouping. The reason I believe in the position for you is these guys are out. And at this point, I don't think this is going to help, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is correctamundo. And notice your bishop is allowing the rook to hold this square. And this one doesn't believable to me because, like, now you got an extra problem, Knight e5 exclam. de5, d4, queen g4. Looks good. Looks good. And now they committed a chess crime by not believing in the power of the bishop, right? Now we got to say something about your opponent. He's moving too fast. Let's see how fast they played this bishop f3. Instantly. Instantly. Bows. What are you doing? What are you doing, Bows? You got to be thinking about what's going on. It's rook takes f3, buddy. Come on now. Come on. So, we can imagine that a walk, perhaps, would have found rook takes f3 if they were playing in an actual game over the board instead of being, in this online atmosphere. Looks good. Looks good. Now your boys are coming. That looks like a good move to me. That wasn't it. Checkmate. I felt like Iron Petrosian himself. Yep. Okay. By the way, great annotations. That you missed some stuff, don't feel bad about that at all. Okay? Don't feel bad about that at all. And no, I've done some videos about this. I did a whole thing of videos like how to make 1800, how to make 1900. And in those videos, what you'll find is, I've taught a lot of chess to a lot of different groups of people, rating levels. And that lack of sensitivity to the undeveloped pieces, the pieces that aren't working, very common, and it's something that you can conquer, right? And here, it's your first longer game, right? And you're like through those annotations, hopefully through what I'm saying, you'll get a sense of what it means to be sensitive to the poor pieces. Okay, beautiful. That was great. Let's feature that game. Bam. So, recent. All right. We gotta go down here and we go back. We go up. That was Adam Scott. Now we got 3 more left. Second 2 might actually be performative. Ricardo Alves, who we've seen here before. This is my 3rd graduation and until now the tough one. Over a period of 4 months, I played 2 OTB Classic tournaments. I lost some FIDE, but when I analyzed my games and returned to online, I felt stronger than before. During this time, I also did a lot of mate and twos. I think that the program continues to work like a compass to help the students how to study and improve in the game that we love. Also, I think that playing OTB has to be a requirement at some levels. Those games with tension and huge fights are definitely a thing that make chess more than a game. Yes, sir. The other thing I want to stress about the OTB, and this comes up in this book that I'm going to review soon by Ben Johnson, who's the dude who does the Perpetual Chess podcast. It's about a number of improvement chapters, and we've been saying this for years at the dojo. Even if you want to be better at rapid, like Ricardo ends up coming back to rapid and just crushes some fools, the focus that you will gain by playing an over-the-board game, having to be there, no computer around, no bullshit, and you're just facing mano-a-mano against somebody, it's going to make you a stronger player, and you will start seeing things right after that. Your mind will be alive, So I really like that. And anyways, there's a chapter in that I'll talk about maybe when I do the review. In my head, right, I've done a lot of talking about System 2 thinking. I did a video about that. In any case, in this chapter about OTB by Ben Johnson, there's a lot of other chess trainers chiming in on that and just experientially, like saying exactly what Ricardo saying. Anyway, I thought about that because I just read that chapter this morning. All right, here we go, Ricardo. Boom. 1601, that's a good graduation. Let's just go down here. So there's the FIDE. And what we've actually seen is a lot of dojoers who, especially dojoers who haven't played that much OTB yet, that their online rating is much higher normalized than the FIDE. Our very own Jack Stenglein, he's like a gazillion online and then still around 1,200 USCF. And part of it is getting used to it, but also you're playing all the underrated kids when you play over the board. And one of the things about Dojo 3.0 that I want to do is redo our rating system, the way we translate ratings from one kind to the other. And the dream there is that it seems like since we did our rating translator, that it'll be 2 years on once we start Dojo 3.0, that the rating systems, both FIDE and USCF, it seems like they've significantly deflated, but of course we will do like an analysis of maybe all the dojo members and how it tracks to try to figure that out. Okay, so activity. We're going to go back one, and we're going to check this out. So tactics, Ricardo was talking about mates and two. There we go, Baus. Dang, there it is. Now, let me just warn you, 1471 is when it takes off, buddy. So it's going to get a little bit more real. But that's good that you're here. And then games and analysis, great. That looks good. All right, let's see if we can find a game here from Ricardo. Hopefully this is one from the over the board. Rated classical game. Now, let me just click around just to see if we can find one that is... Oh, yeah. Okay. So it looks like Ricardo here is playing... maybe in either Portugal or in Brazil. Okay. Totally tired. Let's pick one where Ricardo isn't so tired. Let's pick this one. Boom. Oh, this is the last game of the tournament. They're not in order. Fourth round. I was playing badly. Okay, let's look at this one. So, playing Anna. Okay. Until here, I'm totally comfortable. So, c5, and here definitely d5 would be the move. Right? Now, let me just say, Ricardo, when you play like this, you're playing highfalutin space. You're trying to grab space. And the issue here is that because your knight isn't controlling the d4 square, the CD capture, which she should definitely do, will be a little bit hard, a little bit sad, because you want to just grab space. This position, by the way, is already very difficult for black because the pieces are in a real scrunch, and this piece is in everybody's way, as is this. You see, like, this dude's in this person's way, this dude's in this person's way. You know, everybody's in their way. And that's typical with space. And it's very hard to learn it because you have to really be concentrated, like, where are Anna's pieces going? You know, how can I keep them in a box? All right, knight f2. And here Anna needs to take on d4. And on knight e8, you gotta play d5. Gotta. Because she correctly gets rid of your good bishop. Correct. So, queen b6, plausible. Knight c7 was also a move for her. Now she has to deal with knight d5. Knight ef6. Castles. Knight c5. Looks to me like reasonable play for Anna. Now I think that the position is better for black. I don't know how I went in this scenario. Maybe it's hit. Maybe it's no, it's her bishop. Yeah. Okay. So this is a standard trick that comes about in the Maroczy bind positions. And right, if you don't know about it, then it's useful to know about it. Maybe I'll do a brief digression just to show you, because I can tell you were surprised. So there's a variety of ways that the following can come about, but let's just find a way to get it, Kraai, huh? c5, e4, takes, d6. Cast. This following thing can happen by a variety of move orders. Here. Okay, this position has been reached a million times. It has a lot of resemblance to the position that you got. And in this position, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, what? The best move for white is to say no trade for you, Baus. Because look at this. This is your bad boy right there. He's your bad boy. Look at it. These pawns are on light. This bishop's on dark, covering all this beautiful stuff, you know? Whereas the chumps of the world will take on g7. And then we're going to get a situation, well, your situation I think is worse than this one, taking on g7, where the dark squares fall under black's control. Right? Okay, so there it is. That's hard to learn. That takes a little time. Good move, Anna. Good move. This is very standard play. Knight b5, a little frisky. I'm not sure where it's going. Bishop d7, good move. I don't like it. You're freeing the rook. Now, knight e6 definitely isn't it, though. Definitely a mistake. She should take. And she'll be much better here because she just opened up her rook. Now, on knight e6, well, there's some questions to be asked here. You took on a5, and that will give her the c5 square back. And so the question for me is, well, could you have played a3? Now, maybe you can't. It might go like this. Pop, 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 pop. Knight d4, for example. The point is, by the way, let me just say the strategical point. Can white keep you out of the c5 square? The bummer, and notice, this knight's not chump. You are knocking this knight down. This knight needs some improvement too. But here you might be kind of sort of, maybe you're kind of sort of okay. You would need to see knight d4, queen e3. It's still a little hot, my friends. In fact, there's a blunder here because we go rook a2, Bishop c4, check to the miserable king. Oh, man, bummer. And that's typical when we lose the dark squares like you did here. So ba5, queen a5. Could she have considered rook a5? She could have. Pop, pop, knight c3. Bishop c6. It looks exactly like the position I showed, right? Now, this position is bad news for white. But, you still have practical chances. Rook b2. Now, we've been talking a lot this session about sensitivity to bad pieces. She needs to understand that the knight on f6 is poor. Okay, very important to understand. And a lot of people don't get it. So, what should she do here? Her default move that she should consider is knight d7. Fix it. Fix it. Have it do something. Why do a lot of people not get it that they need to fix it? Because their opponents often free their pieces for them and they never learn, right? So black right away needs to be like, bows. Knight f6 needs improvement. Instead, she goes on an adventure and is going to trade off her good piece. For what? Your terrible bishop. Oh, no, Anna. Anna. Anna, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Anna. You're killing me. This is the horrendo piece. Oh, Anna. Anna, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, now she does trick you, and she's playing for a cheap trick. Okay. By the way, knight f4, she's not really threatening anything. Okay. So we are always going to be happy if she takes our chump bishop, right? So we can do something like move the rook to one of these squares and maybe play bishop f1 if she doesn't take. Okay. But we don't care if she takes. All right, so pop, pop, and now we're going to have a tactical problem. The bummer is with ed5, now you are much better. Much better. Bishop e8. I mean, look at that. Can we just say that light square bishop is now a real chump? And that wasn't the happiest move, bishop e8, right? That wasn't it. And I will point out, here, rook takes b7 is a bad move. However, I really want to point out, that is our move. From the perspective of not only does it look good, but hey, we have to be sensitive to our piece. Know what happened. When we took this, the joy was not simply about the rook. It was about our knight becoming a champ over here. Game over. It's not white is better. White is winning. All right. Naunim, thank you for subscribing for 8 months. Sometimes I don't always look at the chat, but I'm working on it. All right, I'm going to give Kostya a shout. I'm just going to tell him I should make it. Should make it. Get ready. Excellent. So now we're going to go back. Boom. Because I think the next two, at least it seemed like they were performative. Maybe I'm wrong. Pop. So now we got arf, arf, and arf, and arf, and arf. Let's see what's going on. So 1574. They're not officially making it, but maybe they dipped. They dipped. They probably made it and then dipped just down right after that. Let's follow arf. Activity. Yeah, I have a feeling we don't got anything here. Let's see. Oh, they did some stuff. 280 hours of tactics. What? Holgar mates in 2. Well, they're doing it. They're doing it. And then they got some puzzle survival. Okay. So let's see if we got some games. No. So this arf, 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 arf is concentrating on the tactics. Okay, what do we got? They're reading simple chess. All right, Arf, you're doing well, buddy. It would be great. How about next time? Let's put in a game, Bows. Let's put in a game. Okay, so we got one more to do. Also, there wasn't a lot of info on it. Let's just click over here. Pop. And then we got boop. Wait a second. I think Noob Master, I think that just happened. Oh, right. This it refreshed to the new one. So Noob Master will be for next week. But I think we want to be this one, right? Oh, no, now this is confusing. Hold on. All right, so this is the one we've had. And let's click over here. Oh, something weird happened. Wait. There's EZZZZ. Maybe, no. Maybe Noob Master is correct, and we need to do Noob Master. Okay, but EZ, not a lot going on. So we're hoping to find EZ doing more soon. Okay, now we got to do Noob Master, though. I didn't realize this at first. Okay, here we go. We're going to find Noob Master. We're going to close this out. There it is, Noob Master. I improved my tactics and endgame skill from the training plan, learned some E4 theory as well. Boom. I'm the noob who built the Dojo Liga backend and the leader of an army of bots that do almost everything. Boom. There we go. Okay. Nice. Thank you, Noob Master. And Noob Master's definitely made some big improvement. I don't know quite what's happening here, but there's definitely some big improvement going on. Let's take a look. There's one game from Noob Master. Let's check it out. Okay. This is the old line. Usually they take and play D3. The GMs do. There's nothing wrong with C3, though. And D6, I think, is a mistake. Generally here, knight F6 would be the main move. D4. Now I think he's better. And let's just say the bummer about taking on D4 is now we're giving the knight this square. Okay. Pop. Right, and white just has a nice development advantage, central advantage. And A3 isn't it. So here we should do some analysis about what white should actually do, right? These positions require a little bit of finesse. The first question would be, can I play E5? And it's a spooky looking move. I don't know if it works or not, but that's what's got me spooked. You know, well, maybe it's nothing, but this would be the first thing I'd want to analyze. Yeah. There's some things going on here. For example, oh, don't get into it, Kraai. It's too complicated. It's too complicated, mouse. Well, for example, I don't want to go too deep, but like, is this grief for us? Followed by Rook D1. There's questions. I don't know. It's definitely frightening. The fright fest is happening here for me. For example, A6, E6. I'm not sure. This would be something to analyze. A3 isn't it, though, right? Just ain't it. White has an advantage and needs to do something with it. Okay. Okay. I understand what you're saying with knight D4. That's right. And what should you do? You should do a variation, right? This, by the way, we're looking at a position that looks very King's Indian-y now. And one cool variation to think about would be this one. And there might be some variations you lose the pawn, but you might be fully content with something that looks like compensation. You know, maybe something like that. Or you get even more frisky and could analyze this thing. I don't know. But I'm just saying, this is a very typical King's Indian type situation where we got some juice for our problems. Now, the danger with knight e7 is that your knight's a chump. And now we're going to see, you have to be all in for f5 now. You got to achieve f5. Let's see how well you did. Poor move. Poor move. Because they are just h6, they don't want to take. That's their good bishop, just like we were talking about before. What would have been better? Knight d2, c4 is definitely something to consider. And there's a lot of grief involved in that. So, bishop g5, chump move. Bishop d2, not clear, belongs there. Castle's good. h3, maybe not. Maybe not. So, h3, he should understand that that is the weak side of the board, and we want to kill on the weak side of the board. And g5 is certainly interesting. I have a lot of sympathy for g5. So what's the problem? White's on the weak side. White needs to his pawns are pointing this way. They need to be attacking that way in general. Here, yours are going this way. And now you have a choice after h3, which wastes time and gives you a hook on the king side. You got a choice for g5. What you did looks strong, and also knight h5, intending knight f4 and f5. I would call the second, let's call it the more classical plan. But this looks very dangerous. Good move. Knight e2, okay. g4. In terms of analysis, we would want to talk about knight f4. This is a crime because you've just given away your light squares, right? Now, the issue is, should white immediately take it? Maybe not. Boom, boom. If they're going to do this, they need to play f3 pronto. f3 pronto. So we got to put a question mark next to knight g3. So just, if you don't have anything, you got to go back. This is positionally lost for you, see? Because this bad boy's coming. All right, good move. And now you need a shot of some kind. Knight f4 looks good. Nice. And now look at it. Very important to see now that your bishop is an animal. Check to the miserable. Well, now you're just winning, Bows. Now you're just winning. Okay. You're taking a lot of stuff. Did you have nothing? There was no cleaner way? Like, let me just say, this looks like the clinical path. Because you need to get rid of that knight, and you can claim that you're winning because of this dog. But the knight's got to go. So maybe you're still winning here, but it makes me nervous now, because that knight's still alive. And that makes me nervous because you're enabling the white pieces. I'm not sure about queen f4, but okay, it's some problems. Yeah. So let me just say, it's maybe you're fine now, and the queen f4 was definitely a mistake. Now you're doing great. Thank you. Yeah, white's play, let's call it purposeless. Let's be mean and call it purposeless. You hung some stuff. You're still winning though, I guess, huh? Beautiful. There we go, Bows. New master, well done. You guys, I'm out of here. However, stay tuned because Kostya is going to do a stream with KD Learns, the famous KD Learns. And I will be back tomorrow morning to do more opening work and other streamy stuff. So I'm not going to raid anybody. I'm just out of here. Stay tuned for Kostya.